strings are strumming and we're ready to go. It's the show right here on Shaw TV, episode number 146, the 10th episode of our 7th season. We haven't seen you for about a month due to that crazy February snow, so very happy to have you back with us. Our musical guest right in behind me there, well, you know, it's St. Patrick's Day coming up. We figured we'd have a musician with a bit of Ireland to the tune, so very happy to welcome Mighty Spec Records recording artist Terry Boyle, who lives in Canada, but he's a native of Dublin. We're going to find out about his participation in a series of duo shows called Dublin 2, and of course, hear some of his tunes across the hour. Dublin your pleasure, Dublin your fun. Now on today's show, we have a number of segments involving fundraising and philanthropy, and Simon, you might know him from What's On Digest. He's got a very cool fundraising idea he's bringing to the community. We're looking to hear about that creative idea soon. The Nanaimo Blues Society, they put on a cracking good blues festival in the summertime. They also have a fundraising concert coming your way this month. Stay tuned to find out which blues artists they've got coming in to bend your heartstrings by bending their guitar strings. Now, of course, while the Blues Society fundraises for the music, another organization is using music to fundraise by organizing a gospel sing-along in support of a reunification of a Syrian refugee family. We're going to find out more about the family and how you can take part. Now, a few episodes ago here on the show, we featured the fundraising organization 100 Women Who Care. Now it's time for the dudes to pay their dues, so we're going to learn about the new 100-man Nanaimo group, which is also a volunteer fundraising organization. Our resident magician, Craig McKee, he's here to talk about it, as well as some conjure-ups and trickery for us as well. Now, while our director back there, Todd Jones, deals with night terrors with the thought of his young children almost being at driving age, we're also going to talk about the other end of the spectrum. What happens when you get to the age where you have to be taken off the road? So as part of our Seniors Connect series, we're going to talk about that, the issue of driving cessation of older adults. But first, you know, in the program, we also like to wolf down food because, like Duran, we're hungry like the wolf. But don't cry wolf even if you are wearing some sheep's clothing, because we're about to wolf down some photography. It's an hour worth howling about. It's the show right here on Shaw TV.
Lions to cougars to grizzly bears to wolves, Vancouver Island has it all. It is my great pleasure today to have a dear friend and an amazing wildlife photographer and two other very special guests with us here. Today my guest is Mark Corbett from Photography Unleashed Workshops and Tours, and Gary Allan from the SWELL Wolf Education Center, and of course Tundra, who is a wolf, if you haven't already figured that out. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
So, Mark, I know you've been doing photography for a long time. Tell me a little bit, how did this all get started for you?
Well, my first memories are of animals, basically. I lived in Germany, and I remember we had a turtle, and I remember a robin's nest, and a lion on top of a Volkswagen in a lion park. And I grew up in the foothills of the Rockies and grew up with animals and out in nature a lot, and it just evolved from that. And then photography became sort of my favorite way to express myself.
Right, and I know, Mark, you have traveled the world and you've taken some amazing photographs, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But I'd like to know a little bit about how you started your relationship here with Gary and Tundra.
I put these new tours on, and it kind of happened by accident because I was going to do part of a harbor tour, but when I met Gary and Tundra, I went, well, my students would love to photograph a live animal, and what better animal than, you know, a wolf,
right,
which was my favorite animal growing up. So that's kind of how it happened, and I reached out to Gary, and he agreed to come out, and he does a bit of a program. So it actually, and now we're hoping to work together more.
Okay. Now, Gary, I know we have a few shots, some wolf shots here. Tell me a little bit about Tundra. How old is Tundra?
Tundra will be 11 years old, Jane, on the 28th of March this year.
And how did you end up acquiring a wolf? I mean, this is not something most of us have in our homes.
No. Well, Tundra, and then I have Nahani Mohegan at home. They're all three are very high content wolf dogs. So Tundra is 90% wolf, 10% Malamute, but you don't see the Malamute in her. And that you get them from breeders. They're not family pets. Right. And I just do a lot of wolf education, and that kind of evolved. It wasn't, you know, that I got them to do that. I got them, and then everybody wanted to see her. And so then we started visiting schools. We've done over 150 schools in BC, over 30,000 students. Plus we do a whole bunch of community events too.
Okay. Are there many wolves on Vancouver Island?
About 350, plus or minus 50. Most of them are either on the west coast of Vancouver Island from Ucluelet up to like Cape Scott, and in the northern part of Vancouver Island, north of Campbell River, would be about 75% of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've given me a great segue back into Mark. Mark, I know you're doing this photography business, Photography Unleashed workshops and tours, and you've got something coming up called Silverfish and Lions of the Sea. I got it all out.
That's the writer
tour.
in me.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I've got some great photographs that you've taken that we're going to put up on the screen here. I would like you to tell me a little bit about these tours and what people can expect, and a little bit about the conservation aspect, if you will. Like, why is that important, or how does that work into your photography?
It started with doing some workshops so people could like get upgraded, or refresher, or if they've never really gotten a chance to explore their camera. And then now, because of the seasons, it's a good time to start getting people outside, and that's when they get the real hands-on experience. And my love is for the outside and nature and that, so I'm bringing them along. I've actually done surveys in the past, and wildlife photography and nature is people's favorite. Absolutely. So I'm just trying to kind of combine my passion for wildlife and photography with programs such as Gary's.
Right.
And the wolf has special meaning to me. On the prairies, it was my favorite animal, and so on. So I just love the idea of combining the two of them.
So I don't have to be a professional? This is
No,
an
not at all.
amateur workshop?
Well, yeah, I mean, people have different levels, but the idea is that, and I can't help everybody with every kind of camera and so on, but there to help them, guide them through that. And with, years of doing it in various capacities as a professional, I just felt I was ready to kind of talk about it and to share my knowledge. So that's really what it's about.
And I'm thinking now, you did share with me that you plan to do some more work with Gary in the future, and there'll be other opportunities for people who are interested to come out, photograph Tundra, learn more about the animals themselves, a little more about the conservation program. Yeah,
I'd like to bring Gary up to the Union Bay area and the Comox Valley, because that's where I'm situated now. And he's already done schools there and so on, but I just love the idea of having sort of a live model, and she's fantastic for that.
She certainly is. I mean, she's so well behaved.
And she there's a buzz that gets created around her, and people get pretty excited. So that brings out, people's creativity, and they're passionate about their photographs when they love the subject material.
So I have to ask, any close calls, Mark, when you've been photographing wild animals?
Well, some people think that a 4-meter viewing tower photographing grizzly bears is too close for comfort, but I loved it. I had no problems with that. So we have a grizzly bear shot, and that was a thrill for me. It's kind of the equivalent of people going to see gorillas in Africa, for example.
Right.
That's how special it is to the rest of the world. So I felt very honored to have gone.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid we have to wrap things up, but you know what? If you really enjoy wildlife and the opportunity to become a wildlife photographer, I implore you, check out Mark's Facebook page, visit Gary's conservation page, and learn a lot more. Now I'm going to throw things over to the fabulous Cathy Holmes, who's going to drive us into another segment.
Well, what I want to say is happy birthday to you, Tundra. Happy March 28th, and I also want to have a sincere apology to my dog, Bobby Wilson, Kevin, and Bearsy Dote, my mother-in-law's dog, because I know I'm going to go home smelling like this wolf, and they're not going to be impressed. So just a quick apology right before we get started. And while I have that apology in my mind, I'm also thinking about the idea of driving cessation. With me are two of my favorite colleagues, Irene Morrison and all of a sudden, sorry, Lynne Henshaw. My apologies, Lynne.
It's okay.
It's so great to have you here. Part of the reason we have to think about driving sensation is because memory at a time of red light, green light, yellow light may not always be the best idea. Anyway, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this incredible new tool.
Yeah, sure. So this is an initiative of our Seniors Connect Transportation Action Group. We have a number of senior volunteers who are regularly meeting, and one of the things they said was a gap was some kind of a piece of information that explained how do you retire your driver's license. So this is what came out of it, and there really wasn't anything in existence.
Yes. And it was a fun thing for us to do, right, Irene? I mean, we all came together pretty regularly and tried to find the right tool for the right need, because you're right, the gap was there, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So how did that all transpire for you, Irene?
Well, I know that I find it difficult to be ready for this. Okay,
Yes.
ready for this. I rely on my car for everything. I'm out and about. I volunteer a lot, and it scares me a little bit. But I'm not going to fear it. I'm going to embrace it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to lose my license at 80.
No.
It just means that I have to be tested a little bit more and checked. So that's good. It's a good thing.
And there's some new protocol for that too, right?
Yes.
Instead of it being such a big surprise.
Right.
Tell us a little about that.
The government, or ICBC actually, has released a message out to the public that everybody will be getting a letter at the age of 79. So that gives them 1 year to figure it all out, settle it, figure out whether, alternate transportation that they can use if they do happen to not pass the test. It's not going to be that difficult of a test. It'll be a cognitive test and also maybe a driver's test.
Right.
But at least they get the warning, and they can, rely on their partner or younger people that can to just take them around and stuff. Or we're going to talk about in a little bit about the Ride the Bus program tonight.
Of course.
And
And there's as you said, we were talking, just as you pointed out, there's a planning piece to it, right? Yes. So Lynne, there are some questions in the first part of this brochure that sort of talk about that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Can you explore that with us?
Sure. So basically the brochure has a few sections. One is a checklist, which is getting ready to retire license. And so, things like, do you feel less confident behind the wheel? Are you having these mystery sort of scrapes on your bumpers? Are you having accidents? Oops. Are you forgetting where you're going?
Yeah.
Do you get sleepy behind the wheel?
Yeah.
Are other people saying to you, maybe you shouldn't be driving?
Co-pilot, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's okay.
Maybe it's time.
It's time.
That's right.
And it's not an all or nothing thing, right?
No,
it's
it isn't.
It's a staging thing, right? Where you've got a little bit to think about and different alternatives. And one of those alternatives may be that you learn how to ride the bus or the handy dart. There is another test drive on that coming up, right? Mm-hmm. When's that? Can you tell us more about it?
Then you do.
On the how to ride the bus?
Yeah, the how to ride.
Yeah,
that's
so this
cool.
is a partnership with the Regional District of Nanaimo. It's basically a session where their trainer, Bernie, who's fabulous, takes about 12 to 15 seniors out on a bus on a sort of a route from the RDN office to Woodgrove, and tells them, how do you get a scooter on the bus? How do you get a wheelchair? How do you read the schedule?
Well, it's like writing and reading at the same time, because with glasses too, some of those schedules are not an easy
No, they
read.
aren't.
They're really, really not.
They're not.
So we're unfortunately having to wrap up here pretty quick.
Yep.
So just before we do, let's get some dates out. So when is the next time and date of the Ride the Bus program?
Tuesday, March 27th. People can call the Seniors Connect Center, and they can also get these brochures.
Yes.
They are available for free for any organization or doctor's office or anyone who needs them.
And certainly through the Nanaimo Senior Services Network, through
Yes.
Better at Home, Nanaimo Family Life, the Women's Center, Seniors Connect, like there's lots and lots of places that you can go and you can get one of the amazing brochures. Not only is it good on the inside, it's good on the other side too, because it's got some alternative telephone numbers and some information. So get one. If you'd like to get one, watching the bottom of the screen, www.seniorsconnect.ca. And next we're going to go to our Cuckoo. Terry Boyle is going to start singing Cuckoo. I'm feeling a little cuckoo right now. Matches with the wolf thing. Let's have a listen.
I had a little turtle love the light no one could love me. Built a life so many sweet, showed where everyone meet and everyone meet but say it won't belong till the day Well, just that apple picking time, I was hers and she was mine. To shelter from the winter breeze, built a nest among the trees that led down the Phoenix Park, looked forward to the coming dark evening. old bud Cuckoo came from foreign land, took my true love by the hand. Turned her head the wrong way round, and love went fluttering to the ground. Yeah, promised half a million things, should have heard the cuckoo sing. He went oh, well, he turned her head, her heart of mine. One day she'll turn around and fight. All he does is sits and sing, doesn't do a birdie thing. And though her back is to the wall, he smile, let her pay for all that cuckoo. He just goes. Can't think straight, I just can't see how his feathers are so bright that she just can't see where true love lies. His cuckoo's closed up both her eyes. All day long he sits and sings, doesn't do a birdie thing, that cuckoo. He just goes. Well, if we meet on some dark night, I know there's gonna be a fight. I'll pluck his feathers one by one and make him sing a different song. And on his knees he'll beg and cry, he'll end up in lucky fried chicken. He'll go.
Thanks so much for joining us on the show. I'm Kerilie McDowall. Now, Nanaimo has very many wonderful music and community and entertainment events happening in our community. And my next guest brings you these events with his popular magazine called What's on Digest. I'm talking about CEO Simon Rideout of Rideout Communications. He's here to talk about a unique idea that he has to give back to the community through a really interesting business approach. And we're going to talk to Simon now. Simon, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, so let's find out about Rideout Communications first. It's a bit more than just What's on Digest. How do you serve the community?
Right, so What's on Digest is the print publication, which is also available online and digitally. Yeah. We also have television screens, so digital boards mounted in public locations, offering event information as well as weather and other things that people are looking for. And we have websites, so we reach people through print, through the internet, and through the digital television screens.
Yeah, and it's wonderful, and you really reach out and reach a lot of people through your What's on Digest, which I just love.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about this wonderful idea that you have. You are a bit of a philanthropist. People may not know this, and I was very excited to learn about a unique idea that you have to give back to the Nanaimo community. Tell us about this idea and how you hope to implement it. And I'm just going to show the magazine right here. This is Nanaimo What's on Digest magazine.
Thanks for asking, Kerilie. So what you're talking about is a program that we just launched in January of 2018. It's called the Nanaimo Local Business Partnership. And the idea behind it is to genuinely give back to nonprofit organizations who can't always afford or have the budget to do advertising and marketing. And the way we do that is we've built a program for businesses, and what it does is offers them extraordinary reach through this digital platform. and at very, very low cost, which allows almost any business to take advantage of it. And there's absolutely no catch. It's a low-cost way to get great advertising reach locally, and to know that a portion of those revenues are flowed back into support local nonprofits, which again can't always afford to advertise or to pay for a lot of advertising.
Right, so it's a way of giving back to the community. And really helping keeping things flowing in our community. It's a great idea. Now, I wanted to ask, why is this important to you? Why does this speak to your heart?
Well, it's important to me because I've been working with nonprofits for the last 6-7 years, and almost every time I'm working with them or talking to them, they're having budget issues. So this is a way to really help them to get over that hurdle and to get into advertising that again they normally wouldn't be able to access.
So how can the community make this happen?
Well, the community can they can contact me, they can phone me, email me, or go on my website and click on the Contact Us link and just say, give me some more information, and I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, I want to ask you if you have any last words to close with and what's coming up in the future for you.
Well, what I would like to do in the future would be to take this program and grow it and be able to put on free concerts in Nanaimo and perhaps like a 10K run, bring activities and events to Nanaimo on behalf of Rideout Communications and What's on Digest that are free and that people can enjoy and get out there and really make this city, I think, all that it can be, and continue to help it evolve and put Nanaimo on the map.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Simon. We've got to wrap up, unfortunately, but I'll look forward to hearing what happens with this great idea of yours. I'm going to pass it along next to the wonderful Cathy Holmes, who's got some bluesy news for you next. Thanks, Simon.
Thank you.
With the bluesy news, which is very cool, I've got a little of the springtime blues, and I got it. Sorry, Lynne, about messing up your name, but I'm not going to do it this time because I have, from the Nanaimo Blues Society, a little bit of a difficult name to pronounce, but he's kind of helped me through it. So Gerold Haukenfrers, yahoo! And Doug Fetherston, woohoo! I think we need a little drum beat going on for a bit of the springtime. Okay, like we're rockabilly. So as having the rhythm, we've also got some really cool things to share from the Cuckoo song a bit earlier. Cool things to share in regards to a new fundraiser that's coming up, right? So 4 days before the Wolf's birthday is going to be a party, March 24th.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, March the 24th, we're going to have a fundraiser at Beban Park.
Yes.
We are going to start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to have 2 host bands, Jason Buey from Victoria, and we're going to have Steve Kozak bring his troupe over from Vancouver. Silent auction.
Awesome.
Dancing, eats, adult libation for those that are inclined to smooth the evening.
A little bit of imbibing, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of having fun. Oh, absolutely. My goodness. So you came to the Nanaimo Blues Society kind of in a weird way. You came in as a graphics designer, right? Is that how it worked?
Correct.
Let's talk about that.
I joined the board in 2011. I thought I had some skills that would be helpful, and I just needed to do something along that line. But I found out pretty quickly that my job and the amount of time that I really wanted to dedicate to it didn't kind of jive together. Yeah. So after 2011, I went off the board, retired from work, and came back guns a-blazing for this year.
Right on. So now that you're guns a-blazing for this year, what do you think is going to be the best part of this event?
Of the fundraiser?
You betcha.
All of it.
All of it.
We do Blues Jam down at the Queen's every Sunday, and it's a small dance floor. Everybody gets on there and goes. Now we're going to a bigger area, more people. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Gerold, how long have you been the president of this incredible organization?
6 years.
Yeah.
Going on 7, and I find that hard to believe, but it's been a monumental growth. The society has grown leaps and bounds, and last year we had 1,000 people a day at our Summertime Blues Festival.
Wow. So Springtime Blues and Summertime Blues, these are 2 separate events.
2 separate events. Okay. One is a springboard for raising the funds so that we can put on a remarkable program as we did last year.
And so tell us a little about that program, if you will. Is it going to be at Maffeo Sutton? That's that where it was last year?
Maffeo Sutton. Yeah. It'll be on August the 24th to the 27th, and we're looking forward to it.
Actually, it's the 23rd to the 26th.
Oh, fix that. Yep, 23rd to 26th. Yes. That's why you have, you've got an executive.
Back up.
Make sure it's all good. So you guys have been thought of a couple of times. We've been kind of having a giggle. We have a silver fox and a silver wolf here today, but you guys look so much alike. So tell us, I mean, I know that you're not, but around the studio, we've all been going, oh my God, those two are alike, which is what made it hard in the beginning for me to make sure that I introduced you guys properly. So the way we identified about the two of you was your graphics. Tell us a little bit about the graphics on your shirt.
This was done for last year's festival.
Yeah.
It's got the names of the bands on the back.
Right on.
And the festival on the front. So this is the second one I did. I did one in 2011, and then I did this one and that one.
So this one is for this year?
This is for for our jam on Sunday. Yeah.
So tell us about the jams.
Every Sunday at the Queen's Hotel, we have a host band, and then jammers get up after a set that the host band does. It's $5 to get in. It goes from 4 to 8. And it's packed, and it's a lot of fun. We have amazing musicians in this area that play. You cannot believe that they can get up and have never played before, and the music that comes out of there is incredible.
We are blessed.
You are blessed.
Absolutely blessed.
You are, and you're making me want to go to the Queens. And
yes.
I've been here 7 years. I've never been to the Queens.
Parish.
Having said that, we were talking about your fundraising on March 24th, and you were talking about silent auction and all of that stuff. Is there a way people can get tickets? How do people get involved?
Absolutely. Tickets are on sale right now. You can pick them up at Delicados downtown. You can pick them up at the Queens. You can pick them up from any board member. They're $20, and that gets you admission. We're going to have this silent auction, and if you want to really donate something, we're open to that. So get a hold of us. I think our information will be on the bottom of the screen, or just email me, moneyguy@net, and I'll take your silent auction items.
Well, I'm so glad that we had the time to chat with both of you today. Thank you so much for being on set with us and sharing the cool stuff. It's a little bit more bluesy coming on. I can feel it in my bones. And Matt Carter, of course, Mr. Musician himself, is up next.
Thank you very much, Cathy. And I have to say, for someone who's such an energetic dancer, I cannot believe that you have never been to the Queens whatsoever. Unbelievable. Anyways, we'll get some dancing lessons later. Cathy, Gerold, Doug, thank you guys very much for being here, and really, really appreciate the work that the Nanaimo Blues Society has done to make Central Vancouver Island a hub for blues here on the island. South Vancouver Island, on the other hand, is kind of a hub for greens, but we're not having any political talk right about now. No, we're going to talk about music. Our musical guest, speaking of green, actually from the Green Isle of Ireland, very pleased to have him on the show, Mighty Spec Records recording artist Terry Boyle. Terry, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Matt.
Yeah, very glad to have you. Now, I do want to say thanks very much, Matt, again.
Guramila Mahagat, Matt.
Yes, all right.
In Irish.
Yeah, we're going Gaelic. I've got garlic at home. That's about the
We can do simultaneous translation.
Yeah. So actually, I want to talk to you a bit about Ireland too. Looking at your bio there, playing back in the sort of the Irish folk revival of the 70s. You know, bands like the Clancy Brothers, Dubliners, Chieftains making their mark. Describe for our viewers what it was like in the music scene back then.
Pure chaos. Absolutely wonderful time to be a musician, to be an upcoming musician, and like myself, to be learning about the music, because actually I grew up listening to Leonard Cohen and Neil Young, and I came in through the back door to Irish music. So, say about 1972, I did my first gig in Slattery's Cable Street in Dublin. I got 50 pence for the gig, and which is probably about 25 cents nowadays. And I used to go around from pub to pub, basically singing a few songs, picking up songs from people, learning new songs from people like Christy Moore, who's an absolute favorite of mine and a big influence. And in these pubs, they'd play just session music, and the sessions could be 5, 10, 15 musicians at a time. Everybody just playing away. One musician starts the tunes, leads into another tune, everybody else follows him. And as a guitar player, sometimes guitar players were kind of viewed a little bit dubiously by the regular musicians, because
that hasn't changed really.
A lot of them didn't know how to back the music. So if you saw somebody coming in with a guitar, you'd watch him very carefully to see if he could follow. So I made sure I tried to learn as much as I could. And over the years, I got to know an awful lot of the tunes. So I could tell the chording of the tune, and then changing into another tune, I'd have that. And it's a learning process, because there are thousands of tunes. They're still being written, and I'm still working on them.
So how does a musician who basically learns from the streets, the hard knocks, how does the musician that learns that way come to Canada to become a school teacher?
How long have we got?
All right, give us the 20-second abridged version.
Okay, 20-second abridged version. I quit my teaching job in Dublin, and I moved to the west coast of Ireland, County Clare, tiny little fishing village called Doolin. And from there, I used to play the summer season there, and then I'd travel away to Boston or Texas or Vermont, but mostly Boston, and I'd play in the pubs there. And then it was one day, I went back to Ireland for the summer season, just coming towards the end of the season, and I spied this Canadian beauty. And so she was only going to stay for 3 days. She ended up staying 6 weeks. I was going to go to Sweden. She was going to go to Greece. We compromised. We went to Portugal. Didn't know if we'd see each other again. But anyway, I'm here. Some people get a T-shirt. She got me.
I love it. And again, the Irish sense of storytelling coming through. I'm really saying we have to wrap up quickly, but bring it up to the present day. You're playing with a duo called Dublin 2 with a number of shows in March. So tell us quickly about what the Dublin 2 duo is all about.
Okay. A friend of mine, Martin Nolan, he plays the uilleann pipes, which are the Irish pipes, different to the Scottish pipes. You don't blow into them, you squeeze under one arm into the other, and that goes into a chanter, and the chanter goes into something else, and the knee bone is attached to the eye bone, and all that sort of thing. It's a fabulous instrument, a very melodious instrument. And myself and Martin, we played a lot of gigs last summer. He's coming back over the St. Patrick's period, so we're going to play a gig at St. Andrew's Church on St. Patrick's Day, the 17th of March at 7 o'clock. That's an awesome venue, so we're really looking forward to playing that. And tickets are available at the church office and also at a number of stores around town. If you visit my website, terryboylemusic.com, you'll find that, or Terry Boyle Facebook as well. Terry Boyle Music Facebook, you'll find that as well.
Perfect. There you go. So St. Patrick's Day here in Nanaimo. Also shout out March 16th, house concert in Victoria. March 23rd at the Ladysmith First Night Church in Ladysmith. And of course, right here on the show. So looking forward, Terry, thank you so much for being here. I want to send back to some more music. So again, thanks for joining us. Another song from Terry Boyle, Streets of Derry.
Thank you.
On the show on Shaw TV.
Well, after morning there comes an evening, and after evening another day, and after false love there comes a true love. I'll have you listen now to what I say. My love, he is as fair a young man, as fair as any the sun shines on. Out how to save him, I do not know it. Now he's got a sentence to be hung. As he was walking through the streets of Derry, I'm sure he marched up right man foot much more like a commanding officer than a man to die upon the gallows tree. What keeps my love? She's so long coming. Oh, what detains my love so long from me? Perhaps she thinks it's a shame or scandal for a man to die upon the gallows tree. He looked around and he saw her coming as she ran swifter than the wind. He said, my love, they cannot hang you, and I crowned my love in a bunch of green. After morning there comes an evening, and after evening another day, and after false love there comes a true love. Well, I'll have you listen now to what I say.
Thank you so much, Terry. You've got everybody on set dancing and tapping their toes. I know when I go home tonight, I'm going home to my house, my warm bed, and I'm going home to my family. Not everyone in the world has the same opportunity. Tonight, I'm really excited to have as my guest folks in town from the Smaisim sponsorship group who are here to tell us about a wonderful fundraiser that is looking to bring a family home here to Nanaimo. Welcome, Judy Keane from the Smaisim, am I pronouncing it right?
That's right.
Smaisim sponsorship group. Tell me a little bit first off about your sponsorship group. How did you guys come about?
I was asked by the Multicultural to look after the family, and when the family asked me if I could sponsor some of their children, I got a group together and we organized. We have a small group and we're raising money to bring one of the children from Turkey. Yeah.
Now I know you're looking to raise quite a large amount of money, $42,000.
Right.
Right. Really, this is a big initiative, but you're doing it for a wonderful reason. Can you tell me a little bit, and we've got a photo, a little bit about this. Smaisim is actually the name of the family you're sponsoring,
that's
right? Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Okay. Well, they lived in northern Syria with their family, but after a while they noticed, in fact they couldn't help but notice, but many of their friends and family were being killed, murdered, bombed, shot, and the father, Imad, realized that if he wanted his family to live, he had to get them out of there. So he went to Turkey to try to make it easier for his wife and the 3 kids to get into Turkey. And poor Emil, she and the 3 children walked 7 hours each way to the Turkish border and back 10 times, and the Turkish guards would not let her through. And some nights she even slept outside of the Turkish guard station. So finally she went back to her home, and Imad came back from Turkey, and after 2 attempts they finally got through to Turkey. Yeah.
So now the family is waiting in Turkey,
Yep.
and you and the Smaisim sponsorship group are doing a really interesting fundraiser here in Nanaimo on April the 14th, the
April the
Gospel
14th.
Sing-Along fundraiser.
Oh, this is going to be it's a professional show, and we'll have professional musicians, and there is a gospel singer who sings, and there's a storyteller who traces a slave girl's life, and the gospel songs are about this. And it's a sing-along, so we're going to be up in the aisles singing and dancing and really having a really good time.
Okay, this sounds like a wonderful interactive program. There are also going to be some fundraising things that are going to happen during the show as well, like intermission, things like that?
Intermission will have a bit of a craft table and things, but there'll also be free Syrian desserts, which are very delicious.
Yes,
so
I know.
Intermission, you can come and eat.
I was lucky enough to be able to do a Syrian cooking segment not long ago here on the show.
Yeah.
So also, I wanted to ask you a little bit about other help that is needed. What are other ways, besides buying your tickets to go to the fundraiser on April 17th?
Well, we always accept donations. Anything over $50 gets a tax receipt. But we'll take less if you want to give less. That's beautiful. And since we're trying to raise the $42,000, time is short, and we hope to have them here by Christmas. And so we're really working hard on raising the money.
Okay. And so you're expecting them to arrive this year, it says here, and then, so are they going to be needing other things? Are they going to be needing clothing, furniture?
Eventually. Our $42,000 covers their rent, food, all their costs, dentist, doctor, medicines, the whole bit. And about 2 months before they come, we will put out a call for beds, clothing, furniture, Chesterfields, but we don't have any storage.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you been communicating with the family in Turkey?
Oh yes, they come to me on the cell phone and they say, "Hi, how are you, Canada?" And they just want to be here so badly.
And they'll be reuniting with other family that are already here,
Yeah, Mom and Dad and 3 other kids are already here, so they're coming back to them. And Mom can hardly wait. Every time we talk about it, she cries.
Well, it's such an amazing and worthwhile cause. I thank you so much, Judy, for coming on. People can check out the address on the screen and find out more about the show, and make sure that I'll be looking forward to seeing you there.
Okay, great.
So now I'm going to throw things back over to Matt Carter.
Thank you very, very much, Jane and Judy. Obviously, we hear so many stories on all news outlets about a lot of hardship around the world. So one of the great things about doing this show, the show on Shaw TV, is hearing about people making a wonderful difference, again, for other people around the world. Having music part of it is pretty awesome, too. So again, congratulations. Thank you, Judy, for all the work you and your group are doing. All right, now another group doing some amazing things. A new group here in Nanaimo is called 100 Men Nanaimo, and it's sort of, you may have heard similar things about 100 women who care in Nanaimo. They get together once per quarter, I believe, put some money in, all volunteers helping out different charities in town. And to speak about this new 100 Men Nanaimo group, we've got our in-house magician back, Craig McKee. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me. This is great to be here again.
Absolutely, yeah. So give us a real quick rundown for our viewers about what 100 Men Nanaimo is about, because you are going to be one of those 100 first men getting involved.
One of the 100, and it's a really incredible group where what we're looking to do, it's powered by the Serauxmen, and the Serauxmen are looking to get 100 men with $100 to get together for 1 hour, once a quarter, once every 3 months. What we do with that hour is we hear 3 quick presentations from 3 different charities. We vote on one of them. And then within that 1 hour, we will have raised $10,000 for that one charity. We do that once every quarter. And it's incredible. It's at the end of the year, what you get to look at is $100 every quarter. You spend 4 hours a year, and you get to be part of a group that has raised $40,000 for charities.
Again, many hands makes light work, right? Same thing with fundraising, the exact sort of thing.
It's just amazing. And the incredible thing is that this is literally open to anybody. All you have to do is go to the website, 100mennanaimo.org, shoot us an email, say hi, and come out for a great evening.
Perfect. I know I've read about, again, we mentioned the 100 Women Who Care in Nanaimo. I know there's a 100 Men group in the Cowichan Valley, or at least one in the interior, so great to see us in Nanaimo. Thanks, Craig, for being a part of it. So
it's my pleasure. The Serauxmen are an amazing group powering a lot of incredible things in town.
Excellent. Well, speaking of powering, I know you have some magical powers, as we've seen here on the program before, and either you've brought a date book or... No, it's a deck of cards. All right.
Deck of cards.
What's going on here?
Yes. Well, we're going to have a little bit of fun, but fortunately for everybody involved, we're not going to do a card trick. It's, But what I would like you to do is simply, it's a deck of cards. If you could tell me one of these cards that you'd like us to use, that'd be great.
Okay, well, I know Todd Jones is really good at baseball, so I'm going to pick the King of Clubs.
King of Clubs, look at that.
He's just a great batsman there. So, or maybe it was cricket, or I can't, whatever. Maybe it's goalie. Anyways, King of Clubs.
I don't have the first clue.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is get you to do just a quick little kind of doodle in the borders here.
In the borders?
Yeah.
So just like, let's go over there so
sure.
So Charlotte can see it there. So I'll do a little loop-de-de-loop, maybe a little smiley face off there.
Perfect, and just up here.
MC, my initials over there, another loop-de-loop on that.
Perfect. Right. That is, of course, simply so that we know this is your card. Now, we are, of course, not doing a card trick.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a bit of a fold, though, because we are going to be destroying your card. I hope that's okay with you.
I don't think I have a say in it whatsoever.
No, you don't have a say, so just enjoy the ride.
All right, so there you go.
We'll give this a quick
there's still 51 cards, who cares? So.
There is. We'll work on increasing those numbers.
Yes.
Now, along with not being a card trick, this is also decidedly not a money trick.
Well, just having a $1 bill is a bit of a money trick.
It's a fun bill. I like it. So here's what's going to, here we go. We'll get the close-up of the $1 bill, which is no longer going to be legal tender soon. So
seems legit for now, yeah.
So here's what's going to happen. This is a bit of fun that I'm really, really quite fond of. And I do want to say we are shooting live to tape. So for our viewers, what you see here, there's no camera tricks, there's no nothing. This is exactly what you'd get if you were to hire me for your event, is you would see a card placed behind a $1 bill. Which is not incredible. But it is important. It is important, I know, right?
Todd's impressed. Yeah.
Now here's the fun part. If we just give that a fold, you'll see that ostensibly we have the inside on the inside and the back, which we'll call the outside on the outside. And that is how this trick starts. It is not, of course, how this trick finishes. If we were to give that card just a little bit of a push, you would see that card actually turn inside out on itself.
Wait, what?
Just with one small push up top, that card.
Seeing the club, yeah. And now now it's the outside of it.
Turns inside out. Now, we are going to do this under test conditions for you. Now, what test conditions means is that we're going to completely trap the card. Now, the way we're going to do that is we're going to give it a quick fold. We're going to wrap the entire bill around the card. The reason why this is important is there's no open edges. You can see the card is completely trapped. If the card is trapped, the card can't escape. If the card can't escape, there's no way for that card to actually turn around. That would be absolutely impossible. Now, I'm going to say a sentence that doesn't make any sense. Just follow me with this. What you see is what it is, which means that if you can only see the face of the card, then that is what it is, of course, for its entire length.
Yes.
Now, if you can only see the back of the card, then that is what it is, once again, for its entire length. Here's why this is important, Matt. This is why this is important. This means that if you can see the inside and the outside at the exact same time, then this card must be both outside out and inside out at the same time.
Come on.
Now, here's the best part about this. We can actually stop this. We can stop this right here. If I give this a quick fold, if I give this a quick crease, I can actually stop this process right here and show you it is 50-50 with nothing else involved.
I am a fan of magic, and you've done it again. Craig McKee, thank you so much for joining us to show off that. And want to get another shout out, the first meeting again of the 100 Men Nanaimo. Again, debonair folks like Craig are part of this group. You want to join these guys. March 24th at Cavalati Lodge, if we got the right, 5 to 6, followed by a comedy show
Yes.
From Search to Midnight. That's Peter Hudson.
Absolutely. Peter Hudson is hosting that, and it's going to be, he's got an amazing lineup. So you can come out for either or, but hopefully both.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you again. 100mennanaimo.org is the website. Craig, thank you so much for joining us once again. All right, I'm going to make this disappear and welcome this because I need to quickly wrap this up and get out to our music. And I know we actually had a driving discussion earlier on about giving up your license, that sort of stuff. Well, that's not entirely accurate. It's more about not driving at a certain age. No, and I enjoy driving. I don't want to dodge the question. I'm a bit of a mini Keener when it comes to cars. I should actually get my nephew and niece on the show one of these days. If I ever get them to stop playing with their toy Odas. You take away their toys and it's just a big sob story. All right, and then when you're with kids that are crying, other folks think they know better. Todd's crying out. Other folks wagging their tongues, telling me how to be a good uncle. For heaven's sakes, it's like it's their civic responsibility or something. Anyways, hey, you remember, I think Charlotte might know this, that old great singer, pop singer from the 80s from Quebec. Her name was Mitsu. Mitsu, you know that song, Mon Cowboy? They're actually naming a song after her here in this province. It's going to be called Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi is that one. Uh-oh, that wasn't as good. All right, I got to get outie here. Don't want to push things too far, Ari, before these jokes fall Fiat and, someone Rolls Royce in here to kick me out to infinity and beyond. So anyway, so all of our guests that are hardworking, I actually got some applause that time. Woohoo, woohoo. All right, full gear. Get thanks to all of our guests and hardworking volunteers and staff in front of the cameras and behind the scenes. You can find more about this program, Shaw TV, on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show on Shaw. And check out previous episodes of the show on YouTube as well. Do you have an event, cause, demonstration, card joke, or issue that you'd like to bring to the program? We're always looking for great Central Vancouver Island guests, so do drop a line to Kelly Robinson, who books all those great sort of things. And if you want to volunteer on the show, we have some great volunteers crew here. Contact our volunteer coordinator, Melissa Hall, melissa.hall@strb.ca. All right, time for one more song for the great Terry Boyle in behind me. I'm going to do my flippity flip this way. A little song called Look at Yourself. Thank you so much for watching the show right here on Shaw TV.
Before you look at someone else, take a look at yourself. I think I hear you better than you hear yourself. I think I hear you better than you hear yourself. Before you talk about someone, listen to yourself. Do you want to be a hero or a victim in a life that's played out every day? You've got to give yourself permission to fail. I think I want for you more than you want for yourself. I think I want for you more than you want for yourself. Before you give it all away, take what you need yourself. Do you want to be a hero or a victim in a life that's played out every day? You've got to give yourself permission to fail. I think I love you more than you love yourself. I think I love you more than you love yourself. before you really love someone, you gotta love yourself. Do you want to be a hero or a victim in a life that's played out every day? You've got to give yourself permission to fail. Do you want to be a hero or a victim in the life that's played out every day? You've got to give yourself permission to fail. Whew.